You are witnessing upon the earth right now the end of an old rule that represented royal figures. There was a time in the past where kings and queens and emperors once ruled with an iron fist, that they held the position of authority, and that through their decrees they were able to share anything that they wished. The land was theirs, the country was theirs, the people were simply seen as the commoners, and everything that represented their decree was done. Yet this has been struggling for the past several decades. There is even presences behind the royalties that even stemmed into your corrupt. The idea of kings and queens simply became that of a puppet show or figurehead presentation. And now that many of those who were pulling the strings behind the scenes relating to royalty are now out of the picture, the idea of the royal family and its figurehead nature still has not really changed, but the only thing that really has changed are the people in authority behind these royal figures. For it may not always be what you would know as the original people that are in front of the camera, but more so imposters. The idea of the royal family is that they have always been following a script, specifically within these past couple of decades. So as they have continued to follow a script, they will always fall under the guise of doing what they are told. And so as there are new forces behind the scenes that are counterforce in nature, the royal family is going to move into the assistance with the cleanup of the planet. It may not appear so because the narrative is still going through a transitional situation, but nonetheless, the royal figures, not only from within the United Kingdom, but other royal figures from abroad, will always be playing together, acting out certain parts, whether it is originally the individual or an imposter or a doppelganger that is taking their place. But many of the royals who have not been able to follow the new routine that is coming have either been taken out of the picture and replaced to function in a temporary measure so that new steps can be moved toward the idea of ensuring that these royal families, these royal figures, do work together with assisting in the planet's rejuvenation and working together with the people. And those who did not want to play that particular game are no longer in their position of royalty. The official narrative, as it has been going for quite some time, is about to take a major curve. The reason for this is because much of the mainstream media has moved itself into a greater overhaul that is taking place right now. In fact, you will see that much more of the media to come will be much more in favor to what people who have been commonly referred to as conspiracy theorists have been sharing for all this time. They will slowly start to move into that direction as the scripts change. The mainstream media, everything that represents the quote-unquote news sources, are nothing more than Hollywood actors following these particular teleplays. That everything that represents the news, as many may know, is nothing more than something that has been scripted behind the scenes to follow a simple narrative that indicates some form of control. But as the corrupt are losing their edge pertaining to, yes, the mainstream media is now moving into new scripts, new teleplays, and new narratives that are going to be taking its place. It would be quite advisable to be on the watch, realizing how things are going to start to subtly change through much of your mainstream media networks. You're going to see the scripts change. You're going to see people starting to turn face. The idea of turncoats taking place. A flip of the script is going to be taking place. And this will be happening not just on one particular network, but many. The narrative is going to be much more in favor to what those people who have been termed as conspiracy theorists have been saying. It is going to move in that direction. However, right now it is still a transitional time to wake people up. And through that awakening and attempting to light a fire under people, it is going to continue with a great deal more of fear. But for those of you who have already woken up past all of this, the last thing that you're actually interested in is watching a mainstream media that is nothing more different than watching a common soap opera on your television. But for those who are still sleeping, they are being nudged into another narrative. They're being nudged into the idea of how there are going to be exposures, how there is going to be a change in the financial system, how there are going to be change in politics and changes in world leaders as well, and that this transitional government is going to be taking place. The people who were once favored through the old narrative are now going to start being exposed, and that is through the flipping of the script. Flipping of the script is now going to be against those particular leaders that were once in favor with the script, that are now going to see the script being against them. When you see this, this is a very large signpost. This is letting you know that transitional government is imminent, and that it still will require several months of intense exposure that may at first cause fear, that then will cause anger, apprehension, sadness even, but it is going to lead into something much more powerful. You have to understand that the official narrative always speaks to those that are deeply asleep. For those of you who are awake, this is not for you. But for those of you who are still aware of others, or you may yourself be asleep, trying to understand exactly what this world is going through, well, it's nothing more than a script. If you're looking at the old world, and you're looking at the old narrative, and you're looking at the rhetoric that is being spewed through these scripts, through mainstream media, it is nothing but a movie. It is nothing more than a cinema show, than a stage play. But again, the narrative will switch. The narrative will shift. It is very likely that you're going to see this unfold before the end of the year. That there is going to be movement much more into the idea of those who have followed truthers, of those who have followed patriots, of those who have followed the conspirators. That's where the flipping of the script is going to take place. So not only will you start to see a transition pertaining to royal figures that will now start to move in complement to those, again, who follow much more of the truther movement, but you're also going to watch the narrative and follow the flipping of the script, where that too will also follow much more of the truthers and patriots and conspirators, who again have predicted that many of these things are coming. Some of you may ask about the idea of emergency broadcasts, emergency alert systems, and is this going to be taking place in the times ahead? It is unlikely, because very much everything that has been planned in the background is already now starting to come into fruition. So everything in that sense is coming according to plan. It's just a matter of pushing the envelope a little bit more to awaken more of those who are still deeply asleep. One may ask, well, I'm fully awake, so what do I do? Join your soul tribe. Join the groups that you feel in resonance with, that you are in harmony with, and work together with them and assist in your own way. It's about coming together. It's about unification. You are not going to grow and expand and move yourself into a greater understanding of what this world can present to you as you move much more into a cooperative with each other by feeling that you're going to still be separate. It's about being together as one, coming together with those who you feel connected with and co-creating together. Thank you very much for checking out the New Earth Teachings YouTube channel. Feel free to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And you can check out the websites, newearthteachings.com, where you can order a private session, 3 questions by email, EQ method, and a lot more. And you can also check out healingcodecards.com, where you can grab your mind deck, your body deck, and of course the brand new body deck special edition. All of these are available in digital editions as well. And you can also get a shirt just like this through healingcodeshop.com, where you can experience the healing codes in apparel form. So feel free to check out these websites. Thank you so much, and I'll speak to you again in the next video. Be well.